You're a thief, nothing more. Harlan Vanderbilt's voice sliced through the sterile hospital lobby, his finger jabbing at Lena Washington's chest. Her wrist burned under the cold bite of handcuffs, the metal digging into her skin as security guards pinned her against the wall. Nurses froze, patients gawked, and camera flashes from reporters outside lit up the chaos. Lena's jaw clenched, her teeth grinding so hard her temples throbbed. She'd just saved his daughter, Sophie, from the jaws of death, but Harlan didn't care. To him, she was just the black maid who dared touch his Bentley and his cash. Minutes earlier, Lena had been a blur of motion. Sophie, Harlan's 10-year-old daughter, lay crumpled on her bedroom floor, her breath shallow, her skin gray as ash. The girl's heart condition had struck without warning, a ticking bomb no one else in the Beverly Hills mansion noticed. Lena's pulse had raced as she pounded the emergency call button. Dead. She'd sprinted to the hallway phone, dialing Harlan's number, then the nurses. Nothing but voicemails. The other maids, lounging by the pantry, had shrugged her off. "Follow protocol," one sneered, not even looking up. Protocol wouldn't save a dying girl. Lena's hands had trembled as she snatched the forbidden key from the basement hook, the red tag screaming, "Do not remove." She'd stormed into Harlan's locked office, the air thick with the scent of leather and power. The Bentley key fob gleamed on the desk, next to a fat clip of $100 bills. No hesitation. She grabbed both, scooped Sophie's fragile body into her arms, and bolted. The mansion's alarms wailed as she peeled out of the garage, tires screeching, Sophie's head lolling against the white leather seat. "Hold on, baby," Lena whispered, her knuckles white on the wheel as she gunned it to the best hospital in LA, not the closest. Now in the hospital, Harlan's eyes burned with contempt. "You think you're a hero? You're a criminal," he spat, cutting off Lena's attempt to speak. "I saved her," she started, but he waved her silent, his face a mask of rage. "You stole my car, my money. You're fired, and you'll rot in jail." The guards tightened their grip, dragging her toward the exit. Reporters swarmed outside, their shouts a dull roar. "Black Maid steals from Billionaire." Lena's chest heaved, her breath short, but her eyes locked onto Harlan's, unyielding. She didn't beg, didn't cry. Her silence was a blade, sharper than his accusations. The injustice stung worse than the cuffs. Lena, a single mother of two, had scrubbed floors for Harlan's empire for months, invisible to him and his staff. Her cracked knuckles and worn shoes told a story of struggle no one in that mansion cared to read. She'd seen Sophie's pain, the girl's frail shuffles, her quiet winces, but no one else did. Not the chefs, not the chauffeurs, not even Harlan, who jetted off to Zurich without a goodbye. Now, because she'd acted when no one else would, she was a pariah, branded by her skin and her station. The hospital's fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, a cold witness to her humiliation. Harlan turned away, already dismissing her, but something in his clenched fist, a flicker of doubt, hinted at cracks in his armor. As the guards shoved Lena toward the police van, a nurse's voice cut through. "She saved your daughter's life." Harlan froze, but Lena was already gone, her silhouette swallowed by the flashing cameras. "Think you're clever, don't you?" Harlan Vanderbilt's voice hissed as he loomed over Lena Washington, his polished shoes clicking on the hospital's linoleum floor. The cuffs bit deeper into her wrists, the metal a cruel reminder of her place. Reporters' cameras flashed through the glass doors, their lenses hungry for her downfall. Lena's jaw tightened, her teeth grinding until her head pulsed with pain. She'd just saved Sophie, Harlan's daughter, from death's grip, but to him she was nothing, a black maid who'd crossed a line. Her heart pounded, not from fear, but from the fire of defiance burning in her chest. Lena stood tall, her spine rigid despite the guard's rough grip. "I did what I had to for Sophie," she said, her voice low, steady, like a blade slicing through the chaos. Harlan's eyes narrowed, his hand slashing the air to cut her off. "Don't you dare speak her name," he snapped, his words a whip. "You're no savior. You're a thief who'll pay for this." The crowd, nurses, patients, reporters, watched in stunned silence, the air thick with tension. Lena's lips pressed into a thin line, her gaze locking onto Harlan's. She didn't flinch, didn't beg. Her silence was heavier than any scream, a quiet storm that made the billionaire's shoulders twitch with unease. She could have shouted, could have spilled the truth, how Sophie's gasps had echoed in the silent mansion, how the staff ignored her pleas, how Harlan's own absence had left his daughter to die. But Lena chose her words like a chess master playing a long game. "You'll see what matters," she said, her voice a calm prophecy, each syllable landing like a stone in still water. Harlan's face twitched, his fury faltering for a split second. But he turned away, barking at the guards to get her out of here. They yanked her toward the exit, her worn sneakers squeaking against the floor, her head high despite the weight of the cuffs. The injustice seared her soul. Lena, a single mother scraping by in Compton, had poured her sweat into Harlan's mansion for months, invisible to the man who signed her checks. She'd seen Sophie's fragility, the girl's pale hands trembling, her eyes dim with pain. But no one else cared. Not the maids gossiping over laundry, not the nurse who'd left early, not Harlan, who'd rather chase deals in Europe than check on his daughter. Now her act of courage was twisted into a crime, her skin and status branding her guilty before she could speak. The reporters outside shouted, their headlines already written, "Maid steals billionaire's fortune." Lena's chest tightened, her breath sharp, but her eyes stayed dry. She wouldn't give them tears. As the guards shoved her toward the police van, a nurse's shout pierced the air. "She's the reason your girl's alive." Lena didn't turn back, but she felt Harlan's gaze burning into her. Her words, "You'll see what matters," hung in the air like a challenge, a seed planted in his mind. The van door slammed shut, swallowing her into darkness, but her resolve glowed brighter than the hospital's sterile lights. She'd saved a life, and no cuffs could strip that truth away. Outside, Harlan's hand clenched around his phone, his knuckles white, as if her words had hooked into something he couldn't shake. The cameras kept flashing, but Lena's silence echoed louder, a promise that this wasn't the end. "Damn you for making me question this," Harlan Vanderbilt snarled under his breath, his fist slamming against the hospital wall as Lena's police van vanished into the night. The echo ricocheted through the lobby, heads turning, but Harlan didn't care. His chest heaved, rage warring with a gnawing doubt that clawed at his gut. He just branded her a thief, a criminal, but her words, "You'll see what matters," stuck like barbs in his mind. Sophie's life hung by a thread because of Lena, not him. His protocols, his staff, his empire, they'd all failed. And now this black maid he'd dismissed as nothing had exposed the cracks. Harlan stormed into Sophie's room, the door banging open. Monitors beeped steadily, the girl's small frame swallowed by the bed, IV lines snaking into her arms. Her skin was still pale, but her breath came even now, steady. The doctor, a stern woman in her 50s, crossed her arms. "Mr. Vanderbilt, your daughter's stable. Barely. If that woman hadn't acted—" Harlan cut her off with a glare. "Don't lecture me. Just tell me she's fine." The doctor's eyes hardened. "She's alive because Lena Washington broke your rules. Your phone was off. Your staff ignored the signs. Minutes mattered, and she delivered them." Harlan's jaw locked, his teeth grinding as he paced the room. He spotted it then, a crumpled piece of paper on the bedside table. Sophie's handwriting scrawled across it. He snatched it up, unfolding it with trembling fingers. It was a drawing, a simple sketch of Lena holding Sophie's hand, smiles on both faces, labeled "My friend Lena" in childish loops. Sophie's tiny voice whispered from the bed, "Daddy?" Harlan spun, his heart twisting. "She saved me," Sophie murmured, her eyes fluttering open. "Lena did." The words hit like a punch, Harlan's knees buckling as he sank into the chair. Doubt exploded into regret, sharp and unrelenting. He replayed the scene, Lena's unyielding stare, her refusal to break. She hadn't stolen for greed. She'd grabbed what she needed to save his child. Harlan's empire, built on control and precision, had nearly cost Sophie her life. His staff's indifference, his own absence, they were the real thieves, robbing time from a dying girl. Harlan's fingers crushed the drawing, his nails digging into his palm until blood welled. Why hadn't he seen it? Why had he let prejudice blind him, seeing only a black woman in a maid's uniform, not the hero who'd carried Sophie through the storm? Flashbacks assaulted him. Sophie's earlier crises brushed off as manageable. The nurse is leaving early, and the maids are waving away concerns. Harlan had trusted his systems, alarms, protocols, wealth, to protect her. But Lena, with her cracked hands and quiet strength, had seen what he missed. She'd noticed Sophie's shuffles, her faded smiles, her hidden pain. Harlan's throat tightened, a chokehold of shame. He'd accused her publicly, let the media feast on her humiliation. Reporters outside still buzzed, twisting the story into a scandal. His hand reached for his phone, dialing his head of security. "Find out everything about her," he barked. "Now!" In his pocket, something rustled. The old letter from his office. The one Lena's break-in had disturbed. He pulled it out, scanning the faded ink. "Regarding the debt to EW, settle it quietly or it ruins us." Harlan frowned, shoving it back. Irrelevant, he thought, a relic from his father's era. But the initials nagged, a whisper of something buried. He dismissed it, focusing on Sophie's drawing, the proof staring back. Lena wasn't a thief. She was the lifeline he'd ignored. Regret surged, hot and fierce, fueling a resolve he hadn't felt in years. He'd make this right, or at least try. As Sophie drifted back to sleep, Harlan stepped into the hallway, the fluorescent lights casting long shadows. Lena's prophecy echoed. He was starting to see what mattered, and it terrified him. The hospital quieted, but Harlan's mind raced. He pictured Lena in that van, alone with her thoughts, her dignity intact despite the chains. She'd raised 2 kids in Compton's grit, survived loss, yet poured kindness into his world. Harlan's wealth insulated him from such struggles, but now it felt like a cage. He leaned against the wall, his breath ragged, the drawing clutched in his hand like a talisman. This wasn't over. He'd find her, confront the truth she'd forced upon him. But deep down, a shadow lingered. That mysterious letter, hinting at secrets his family had long buried. For now it waited, a ticking bomb in the silence. "You're beneath me, always were." Harlan Vanderbilt's shout echoed in his empty mansion study, his fist pounding the desk as he glared at the private investigator's report. The pages trembled in his grip, detailing Lena Washington's life, a single mother in Compton, scraping by on odd jobs after he'd destroyed her reputation. His chest tightened, shame twisting like a knife in his ribs. Sophie's drawing lay crumpled nearby, her innocent lines mocking his blindness. He'd accused Lena, humiliated her, all because she'd dared save his daughter when he'd failed. Now regret fueled his every move, pushing him into the shadows of her world. Harlan slammed the report down, his fingers dialing the investigator. "Find her exact address, now." The man on the line stuttered, "Sir, she's in a rough area." Harlan cut him off. "I don't care, get it done." He paced, his polished loafers clicking sharply, each step a hammer blow against his conscience. Images flashed, Lena's defiant eyes in the hospital, her words carving into him. He'd built an empire on control, but control had nearly killed Sophie. Lena, with nothing, had acted. Her strength shamed him. Her silence accused him louder than any scream. He grabbed his keys, storming to the garage. The Bentley purred to life, the same car Lena had stolen, and he gunned it toward Compton, the LA freeways blurring past. His jaw clenched, teeth grinding as traffic slowed. "Damn her for making me do this," he muttered, but the words rang hollow. Doubt gnawed deeper. Why had his staff ignored Sophie's crisis? Why had he trusted protocols over people? Lena's face haunted him, her cracked hands carrying his daughter, her voice steady amid chaos. Arriving in Compton, Harlan's Bentley drew stares, kids pointing, adults scowling. He parked outside a rundown apartment block, the engine's hum a stark intrusion. His heart pounded as he climbed the stairs, knuckles rapping on Lena's door. No answer. He knocked harder, his fist bruising. "Open up!" A neighbor's door cracked, and an old woman peered out. "She ain't home. Works at the community center." Harlan's eyes narrowed. "Where?" The woman hesitated, then spat directions, her gaze full of distrust. He drove on. The center, a battered building with peeling paint. Inside, voices buzzed. Kids laughing. Lena's among them. Harlan burst through the door, his presence silencing the room. Lena froze mid-story, book in hand, surrounded by wide-eyed children. "What are you doing here?" she demanded, her voice a whip. Harlan stepped forward, cutting her off. "We need to talk. Now." The kids shifted, uneasy. Lena's jaw tightened, her fists clenching at her sides. "Not here. Outside." They stepped into the parking lot, the air thick with tension. "You ruined me," Lena said, her eyes blazing. Harlan interrupted. "I was wrong. Sophie, she told me everything." Lena's lips pressed thin, her breath sharp. "Wrong? You called me a thief on national TV." Harlan's hand slashed the air. "I didn't know." She advanced, cutting him short. "You didn't care. Your world ignores people like me." His face flushed, regret surging. He'd seen her file, widowed young, raising 2 boys alone. Yet she volunteered here, teaching resilience to kids facing the same grind. Harlan's voice dropped. "I hired investigators. I know your life now." Lena's eyes widened, fury exploding. "You spied on me? Invaded my privacy?" He grabbed her arm. She yanked free, her nails digging into his wrist. "Don't touch me." The action sparked a chain. Kids peered from windows, and a security guard approached. Harlan backed off, hands raised. "Please, Sophie needs you. I need to fix this." Lena's chest heaved, her teeth grinding. She'd built walls after her husband's death, poured love into her sons and these kids. But Harlan's world had cracked them open. He pressed on. "Come back. To the mansion. Care for Sophie." Lena laughed bitterly. "As your maid? After you cuffed me?" Harlan's fist balled. "No, as family." The word hung, shocking them both. Lena's gaze softened fractionally, but her resolve held. "Prove it. Withdraw the charges, publicly." Harlan nodded, his throat tight. "Done. Tomorrow." But doubt lingered in her eyes, her posture rigid. They parted, Harlan driving away, his mind racing. He'd glimpsed her strength, the way she commanded the room, the fire in her defense. It mirrored Sophie's quiet courage, a bond he'd ignored. Back home, he stared at the old letter again. EW, nagging like a thorn. Irrelevant, he thought, but it pricked deeper. Lena's world had humbled him, her fight exposing his flaws. He'd find a way to earn her trust, or lose everything. As night fell, Harlan dialed his lawyer. The phone pressed hard to his ear, determination stealing his voice. The search had stripped his arrogance, layer by layer. Lena's apartment, the center. They screamed of struggles he'd never faced. His wealth felt hollow, his power an illusion. Sophie's recovery depended on Lena, and so did his redemption. He pictured her with the kids, her voice weaving stories of hope. That's strength. He craved it now. The drive back blurred, his grip on the wheel iron tight. Tomorrow he'd face the press, but tonight, regret burned hotter. Lena's words echoed. Prove it. He would, or break trying. Harlan's investigation dug deeper. Tax records showing Lena's late payments, school reports on her son's excellence despite odds. Each detail stabbed, highlighting her grit. He dismissed her as staff, but she was a warrior. In his study, he pored over photos from the investigator, Lena at a food bank, helping elders. His chest ached, shame coiling. How did I miss this? He whispered, his fist crumpling a page. Sophie's room light glowed down the hall, a reminder of what Lena had saved. He couldn't stop now. Another call. Dig more into her background. The investigator hesitated. Sir, there's a name in her file. Esther Washington. Her mother. Worked for your father years ago. Harlan's breath caught. What? But the line went dead on purpose? No, just static. The connection to EW flickered, but he shoved it aside. Focus on Lena. He'd drag her back if needed, but respect her fire. Her refusal fueled him, a domino toppling his old self. As he lay awake, Harlan's mind replayed their clash. Her yank, her glare. They ignited something raw. Redemption wasn't easy. It demanded blood. Tomorrow's press conference would be his first strike. Lena's world had invaded his, and he welcomed the chaos. Sleep evaded him, his pulse racing with purpose. You think you own everyone, don't you? Lena Washington's voice cracked like a whip as she slammed the community center door behind her, facing off with a skeptical donor in the cramped hallway. The man's eyes narrowed, his checkbook clutched tight. Your program's a handout for folks like you, he sneered, jabbing a finger at her worn blouse. Lena's fist balled, her nails digging into her palms until they stung. She stepped forward, cutting him off. Folks like me? We build futures here. Take your pity elsewhere. The donor flushed, backing away, his retreat sparking murmurs from the kids peeking through the door crack. Lena spun on her heel, her breath sharp, pushing back into the room where laughter had stalled. Back to work, she commanded, her voice steady, masking the storm inside. The children, 10 of them, ages 6 to 12, settled around the scarred tables, their eyes wide with admiration. Lena's sons, Jamal and Marcus, sat in the corner, pencils flying over homework. She dragged them here after Harlan's visit, refusing to let his intrusion shatter her rhythm. Her jaw clenched, teeth grinding as she recalled his grip on her arm, his promises ringing hollow. She wouldn't crumble. Not for a billionaire who'd cuffed her like a criminal. She knelt beside a girl named Tia, whose drawing mirrored Sophie's. Simple lines of hope. Add color, Lena urged, her hand steady on the child's shoulder. Tia beamed, crayons scratching paper. Lena's chest tightened, pride surging. This center was her fortress, built from scraps after her husband died in that factory accident 5 years back. She'd clawed through grief, turning pain into purpose, teaching reading, math, life skills to kids the system forgot. Her own boys thrived here. Jamal's quick wit earning scholarships, Marcus's quiet strength echoing her own. A volunteer burst in, breathless. Lena, the fridge broke again. She rose, cutting him short. Fix it. Use the toolkit. Her command sparked action. The man nodded, tools clanging as he dove in. Lena moved to the next table, helping a boy with fractions, her explanations sharp, efficient. Break it down, like this. The boy's eyes lit, success chaining to the next kid's question. She answered, her mind flashing to Sophie's pale face. The girl's trust in her arms during that frantic drive. Harlan's world had tried to erase her, but here she reigned. Her phone buzzed, another reporter hounding for quotes. No comment, she snapped, hanging up before they could probe. The action fueled her fire. She wouldn't be their victim story. Instead, she gathered the group. Story time. Voices hushed as she wove a tale of a woman who defied giants, her words punching through doubt. The kids leaned in, inspired. Jamal whispered, Like you, Mom. Lena's lips twitched, a rare smile cracking her guard. She hugged him fiercely, her arms iron bands against the world's weight. But cracks showed in quiet moments. Alone in the supply closet, fetching markers, Lena's shoulders slumped, her breath ragged. Harlan's visit had ripped open wounds, his spies, his offers. As family, she muttered, fists pounding a shelf. The jolt straightened her, no time for weakness. She emerged, mask intact, directing a game that erupted in laughter. Marcus joined, his grin mirroring hers. This was her empire, not marble halls, but hearts mended one lesson at a time. A knock, another interruption. The old woman from her building poked her head in. That rich man's on TV talking about you. Lena's eyes flashed. Ignore it. But curiosity chained her to the small TV in the corner. She flipped it on, volume low. Harlan's face filled the screen, press swarming. I was wrong about Lena Washington, he declared, his voice cutting through static. She saved my daughter. Lena's breath hitched, her fingers gripping the remote until it creaked. The kids cheered, but she silenced them with a glare. Words mean nothing, actions do. The broadcast chained reactions. Donors called, offers poured in. Lena fielded them sharply. We need supplies, not sympathy. Her resolve hardened. Harlan's apology was a start, but trust was earned slowly. She turned off the TV, refocusing on the kids. Who's next for reading? Hands shot up, energy surging. In this space, she wasn't the accused maid. She was the anchor, Unbreakable. As the session wrapped, Lena locked up, her sons at her side. Home, she said, her stride firm. But Harlan's words lingered, a hook in her mind. She'd built this world without him, helping others rise. Yet his promise nagged. Could he change? Her jaw set, teeth grinding. She'd see. For now her strength powered on, unyielding. Lena's days blurred into purpose. Mornings scrubbing jobs for cash, afternoons here, nights with her boys. She coached a shy teen through a speech, her encouragement punching doubt away. Stand tall. Own it. The girl nodded, confidence chaining forward. Lena's own fire fed from memories, her mother Esther's tales of injustice, fired unjustly from a rich family service. Fight smart, Esther had said. Lena lived it, her actions a chain of defiance. Harlan's intrusion had tested her, but she emerged sharper. A new volunteer arrived, inspired by the news. Teach them resilience, Lena directed, her voice a blade. The center thrived, her leadership unchallenged. Yet in quiet, she fingered an old photo of Esther, initials EW etched on the back. A mystery, buried. Harlan's world might hold keys, but she'd unlock them on her terms. As she walked home, kids' laughter echoing in her ears, Lena's posture straightened. She'd help more, grow stronger. Harlan's redemption? His burden? Hers was this unbreakable world. You invade my life, then demand forgiveness? Lena Washington's accusation sliced through the air as she confronted Harlan Vanderbilt in her cramped apartment doorway, her finger jabbing his chest. His expensive suit clashed with the peeling wallpaper, but he didn't back down. Harlan's eyes flashed, cutting her off. I came to apologize. Properly. Lena's jaw clenched, her teeth grinding until her neck ached. She stepped aside sharply, slamming the door behind him once he entered. Her sons froze in the living room, homework scattered, eyes wide. Outside, boys, she ordered, her voice a blade. They scrambled out, leaving tension thick enough to choke. Harlan paced the tiny space, his loafers thudding. I was blind. Sophie, she worships you. Lena advanced, interrupting. Blind? You destroyed me. Her fist balled, nails biting skin. Harlan's hand rose to silence her. Listen, but she shoved forward. No, you cuffed me like trash. Publicly. His face reddened, regret exploding in his chest. He'd driven here straight from the press conference, cameras still flashing in his mind. I retracted it all. On TV. Said you're a hero. Lena laughed bitterly, her breath sharp. Words. Prove it with cash. For my boys' school. Harlan nodded, pulling out his checkbook. How much? Lena's eyes narrowed. Not just money. Withdraw every charge and fund the complete remodel. He hesitated, his pen hovering. Done, but come back. Sophie asked for you daily. Lena's posture stiffened, her chest heaving. She'd seen the broadcast at the center, his confession chaining reactions. Donations trickling in, but trust shattered. As what? Your maid again? Harlan cut in. No, as her guardian. Equal. The word hung, shocking her. Lena's lips pressed thin, doubt warring with hope. They sat at her rickety table, tension coiling. Harlan's voice dropped. I spied because I had to understand. Your strength, it shames me. Lena interrupted. Understand? You profiled me. Her hand slammed the table, rattling cups. Harlan leaned in. I'm sorry, truly. Silence stretched, broken by her sigh. Fine, I forgive. For Sophie. But her eyes hardened. One condition more. Investigate your staff. They ignored her cries. Harlan's brow furrowed. They followed protocol. Lena cut him off. Protocol kills. Dig deeper. As they talked, Harlan shifted, his pocket rustling. A silver chain slipped out, the necklace from his office engraved EW. Lena's gaze locked on it, her breath catching. Where'd you get that? Harlan frowned, holding it up. From my desk. Old family thing. Lena snatched it, her fingers trembling. The initials matched her mother's, Esther Washington. This was hers, stolen when she was fired. Harlan's eyes widened. Fired? By my father? Lena's voice sharpened. Accused of theft, like me. She worked for him 30 years ago. Harlan's chest tightened. regret deepening. I didn't know, Lena interrupted. Find out why. That's my final condition. He nodded, pocketing the chain. I will, together. The word chained them, an uneasy alliance forming. Lena's resolve held, but curiosity burned. Her mother's story, buried in justice, now linked to his world. She stood, ending the standoff. Leave now. I'll come tomorrow for Sophie. Harlan rose, his hand extended. Lena ignored it, her arms crossed. Actions, not handshakes. He withdrew, nodding. As he left, her door clicked shut, but the chain's mystery lingered in her mind. She fingered a photo of Esther, the resemblance striking. Harlan's apology had cracked open doors, but secrets waited behind them. Her forgiveness came conditionally, a bridge built on demands. Sophie's needs pulled her back, but truth pushed harder. Alone, Lena paced, her breath ragged. Harlan's presence had invaded her sanctuary, his scent lingering like a threat. But his eyes, raw with shame, hinted at change. She'd test it. Her boys returned, questions flying. Who was he? Jamal asked. Lena cut short. A man fixing mistakes. She hugged them fiercely, her grip iron. Forgiveness wasn't weakness, it was a strategy. The center thrived because of her fire. Now Harlan's resources could fuel it. Flashbacks hit. Esther's tales of the Vanderbilt mansion, her unjust firing, scarred their family. They crushed the small, Esther had warned. Lena's jaw set. She'd uncover it, use Harlan's guilt as leverage. His apology chained to action. Funding, investigation. Sophie's innocent face flashed, softening her edge. For the girl, she'd return. But for herself, she'd demand justice. Harlan drove away, the necklace burning in his pocket. Lena's conditions stabbed deep. Money, funding, truth. He'd comply, but EW nagged, a link to his father's shadows. His chest heaved, determination surging. He'd dig, expose whatever rot hid. Lena's strength drew him, her demands reshaping him. Back home, he stared at old files, the chain glinting. This reconciliation birthed a hunt, secrets poised to erupt. Lena lay awake, her mind racing. Harlan's intrusion had chained emotions. Anger, hope, suspicion. The necklace, proof of patterns. She'd forgive conditionally, wield it like a weapon. Her world expanded, risks mounting. Tomorrow the mansion awaited, but with eyes open. Her teeth ground in resolve. She'd claim what was owed. The alliance formed was fragile, with conditions binding them. Harlan's deed would prove his worth, but Lena controlled the terms. Secrets beckoned, a deeper injustice stirring. You're nothing but an intruder in this house. Margaret Klein's venomous whisper cut through the mansion's hallway as she cornered Lena Washington near Sophie's bedroom door. Her bony finger jabbed Lena's shoulder, eyes narrowed to slits. Lena's back stiffened, her fist clenching until her knuckles whitened. Touch me again, and you'll regret it, Lena shot back, her voice a low growl. Margaret's lips curled in disdain. Regret? You don't belong here. Black maids like you always scheme. The slur hit like a slap, Lena's jaw locking tight, teeth grinding as fury surged through her veins. Margaret stepped closer, blocking Lena's path. Mr. Vanderbilt may have softened, but I see through you. Lena advanced, cutting her off. See what? I saved Sophie. Margaret's hand slashed the air. Saved? You broke in. Stole. Just like your kind. Lena's breath sharpened, her nails digging into her palms. The accusation was chained to memories of her mother's firing, the same venom from decades ago. She shoved past, shoulder slamming Margaret's, sparking the older woman's hiss. You'll pay for that insolence. Lena burst into Sophie's room, the girl's weak smile lighting her face. Lena! Sophie reached out, her small hand gripping tight. Lena knelt, hugging her fierce. But Margaret followed, slamming the door. Get out! She doesn't need you. Harlan entered then, his footsteps heavy. Margaret, enough! But she interrupted him. Sir, she's dangerous. Digging into family secrets. Harlan's eyes flashed. Secrets? What do you mean? Margaret's face paled, but she recovered, her voice slicing. Nothing. Just protect your daughter from her. The standoff ignited. Sophie whimpered, clutching Lena tighter. Lena stood, facing Margaret. You ignored her crisis. Why? Margaret's eyes darted. Protocol, Lena cut in. Protocol be damned. You left early that day. Margaret's fist balled. Accusations from a thief. I'll have you thrown out. Harlan stepped between them, his hand gripping Margaret's arm. Stop. Lena stays. Margaret yanked free, her nails scratching his skin. You'll regret this. She's poison. Lena's pulse raced, suspicion exploding. Margaret's hatred ran deeper than jealousy. Her eyes held fear, a guarded secret. As Harlan pulled Margaret aside, whispering harshly, Lena soothed Sophie. I'm here now. The girl's trust fueled her resolve. Margaret stormed out, her parting glare a dagger. This isn't over. Lena's chest heaved, anger coiling. She'd return for Sophie, but Margaret's barbs exposed cracks in the mansion's facade. Harlan turned to Lena. Ignore her. She's loyal but old-fashioned. Lena interrupted. Loyal? Or hiding something? Harlan's brow furrowed. What? Lena pulled out the necklace photo from her pocket. Your family took it from my mother. Harlan's hand trembled as he took it. Margaret knew my father. Maybe she... Lena cut him off. Ask her, now. Harlan nodded, striding out, but Margaret had vanished down the hall. Lena paced Sophie's room, her mind sharp. Margaret's Thu Jik chained to the past. Esther's firing, the EW engraving. She'd probe, but carefully. Sophie tugged her sleeve. Don't leave. Lena hugged her. Never. But doubt gnawed. Margaret's power in the house, her access to secrets. Harlan returned, face grim. She denied everything, said it's nonsense. Lena's eyes hardened. She's lying, I feel it. The confrontation had bared Margaret's claws. Her interruptions, her slurs. They masked terror. Lena's return threatened her grip. As night fell, Lena slipped into the kitchen for water, spotting Margaret whispering into a phone. She's asking questions. Handle it. Margaret hung up, spinning to face Lena. Eavesdropping now? Lena advanced. Who was that? Margaret's hand flew to her chest. None of your business. Lena grabbed the phone. Margaret snatched it back, shoving her against the counter. Pain shot through Lena's side, but she pushed off, grabbing Margaret's wrist. Tell me. Margaret twisted free, her breath ragged. You'll ruin everything. Harlan's voice boomed from the doorway. What's going on? Margaret fled, leaving Lena rubbing her bruise. She's involved in my mother's firing. Deeper. Harlan's fist clenched. I'll confront her tomorrow. Lena nodded, but her resolve burned. She'd uncover it herself if needed. Margaret's emergence as a foe sharpened the air. Her hatred, laced with fear, hinted at buried rot. Lena's conditions for peace now demanded exposure. Sophie slept peacefully, unaware. But Lena's watchfulness grew. The mansion held enemies within, and Margaret led them. Lena lay awake in the guest room, her body tense. Margaret's shove replayed, bruising more than flesh. She'd built her life on resilience, but this fight struck personal. Esther's ghost urged her on. Morning would bring war. You dare accuse me of lies, you filthy outsider. Margaret Klein's shriek pierced the mansion's library as Lena Washington thrust the necklace into her face, the silver chain dangling like evidence in a trial. Margaret's hand shot out, slapping Lena's wrist hard, the impact stinging like fire. Lena's grip held firm, her teeth grinding until her jaw throbbed. This belonged to my mother. You stole it. Margaret lunged, cutting her off. Liar! Get out! But Lena twisted away, shoving the door shut behind them, trapping the confrontation. Harlan burst in, his footsteps pounding. What the hell? Margaret spun, interrupting him. She attacked me. Fire her now. Harlan's eyes locked on the necklace. Explain this. Lena advanced, her voice slicing. It's Esther's. Your father fired her for theft. Framed her. Margaret's face twisted, her fist clenching. Nonsense. She was a thief like you. The accusation ignited Lena's fury. She slammed the necklace on the table, the clatter echoing. Prove it. Show the records. Maria Torres, Lena's journalist ally, slipped in from the shadows, notebook ready. I've got leads. Esther's diary mentions Vanderbilt embezzlement. Margaret's breath hitched, her eyes darting. Diary? Destroy it. She reached for a drawer. Lena grabbed her arm, nails digging in. No! Margaret yanked free, shoving Lena back. Harlan stepped between, gripping Margaret's shoulders. Stop! What embezzlement? Margaret's lips pressed thin. Old rumors. Nothing. Lena's pulse hammered, suspicion fueling her. She nodded at Maria. Search the archives. Maria pulled out her phone, dialing contacts. On it. The action chained forward. Maria's call connected to a former employee. Yes, files from 95. Esther flagged missing funds. Margaret interrupted, screaming, Hang up! But Harlan snatched the phone, listening. His face darkened. Millions siphoned. Dad's signature. Lena paced, her breath sharp. Your father covered it. Blame my mother. Margaret's hands trembled. Lies! She resorted to blackmail. Lena whirled. Blackmail? She was honest, Maria cut in. Diary entry. MK knows. Threatened me. Margaret's eyes widened, terror flashing. How did you? Lena advanced. We found it. Hidden in Compton's attic. The revelation struck. Margaret backed against the wall, her chest heaving. Harlan's fists balled. You were involved? Margaret interrupted. Protecting the family. Your father ordered it. Harlan's roar exploded. Ordered what? She spat. Frame, Esther. Hide the theft. Lena's jaw dropped, but she recovered, grabbing files from Maria's bag. Proof here. Transfers to offshore accounts. Margaret lunged for the papers. Lena held them high. Read it. The documents scattered as Margaret clawed at them, pages ripping. Harlan tackled her back. Enough! Lena gathered the shreds, piecing truths. Dates matching Esther's firing, signatures forged. She lost everything, died broken. Tears burned Lena's eyes, but she blinked them away, her grip iron on the necklace. Maria snapped photos. This goes public unless we get more. Margaret slumped, defeated momentarily. The safe, in the basement. Lena's eyes flashed. Show us! Margaret resisted, but Harlan dragged her down the stairs, his hold bruising. Lena followed, heart pounding. The safe clicked open under Margaret's shaking fingers. Ledgers tumbled out, yellowed with age. Lena snatched one, scanning entries. Millions to dummy charities. Your father's scheme. Harlan's breath raw as gid. Why? Margaret whispered. Greed. I helped cover it. The confession chained revelations. Margaret's payoffs, her silence bought. Lena's fury peaked. You ruined my family, Margaret interrupted weakly. For loyalty. Lena slapped the ledger shut. Loyalty? Crime. Maria recorded it all, her phone glowing. They surfaced, Margaret cuffed by Harlan's call to security. Hold her! Lena's mind raced, connecting dots. The necklace as collateral, Esther's diary as key. More files at the company vault. Harlan nodded. We go now. Maria drove, Lena in back, poring over ledgers. Patterns here? Ongoing? Harlan cut in. Impossible. Dad's dead. But Lena's finger jabbed a recent entry. Look, transfers last year. The vault loomed in the corporate basement, guards stepping aside at Harlan's bark. Lena rifled drawers, pulling folders. Here, Margaret's signatures. Maria cross-checked. Matches embezzlement trail. Harlan's face paled. She continued it? Lena nodded. For herself. The discovery exploded. Millions diverted. Charities starved. Lena's chest tightened, Esther's pain echoing in her own. Margaret's phone confiscated, buzzed. Text from accomplices. Destroy evidence. Lena showed Harlan. Partners in crime. He smashed the phone against the wall. Call the cops. But Lena stopped him. Wait. Trap them. Her plan sharpened. Fake a meeting, lure them out. Harlan agreed, his resolve matching hers. Back at the mansion, Sophie waited, innocent eyes questioning. Lena hugged her. Soon over. But threats mounted. Anonymous calls to Maria. Back off. Maria hung up undeterred. We push harder. Lena's teeth ground in determination. The investigation deepened, clues chaining to a web of deceit. They met an old accountant, whispering in a dim cafe. Margaret blackmailed me. Lena interrupted. Proof. He slid a USB. Recordings. Plugged in, voices crackled. Margaret's threats, embezzlement details. Harlan's fists clenched. Bastard. The evidence piled, Lena's fire unrelenting. Nights blurred. Lena sifting documents at the center, her boys asleep nearby. For Grandma, she muttered, eyes burning. Maria arrived with Prince. Offshore accounts traced. Lena scanned. To Margaret's name. The link solidified, justice nearing. Harlan joined, bearing coffee. We're close. Lena cut him. Not close enough. Confront the board. He nodded, scheduling it. Tensions rose. Margaret escaped security briefly, slashing tires on Maria's car. Warning! Lena's breath sharpened. She's desperate. The probe intensified. Interviews with ex-staff. Whispers of fear under Margaret's reign. She fired anyone suspicious. Lena's resolve hardened. Esther's diary guided entries matched the edges. She knew too much. A breakthrough, an hidden compartment in Margaret's room. Letters confessing. Lena tore them open. To my sister. Cover secured. Harlan read over her shoulder. Family ties? Lena nodded. Deeper conspiracy. The process was endless. Calls, searches, confrontations. Lena's exhaustion mounted, but anger powered her. Sophie's recovery spurred. The girl drew them together. Find the bad guys, Sophie urged. Lena kissed her forehead. We will. Clues amassed, pointing to a final vault. Corporate secrets buried. Harlan cracked it open, files spilling. Full trail. Lena grabbed them. Exposed. The investigation's grind forged bonds. Harlan's guilt turned action. Maria's scoops sharpened. Lena led, her heritage fueling the hunt. Margaret's web unraveled thread by thread. As they compiled the dossier, a shadow loomed. Margaret's escape note. You'll pay. Lena's grip tightened on the files. The truth beckoned, but danger stalked. You betrayed everything for greed, you monster! Lena Washington's roar shattered the warehouse silence as she burst through the rusted door. Flashlight beams slicing into Margaret Klein's shocked face. Margaret dropped the briefcase, cash spilling like blood, her hands flying up. How did you? Lena lunged, grabbing Margaret's collar, yanking her close. Harlan Vanderbilt followed, kicking the door shut, his boot thudding. It's over! Margaret twisted, her elbow slamming Lena's ribs. Pain exploded, but Lena held firm, her breath hissing through clenched teeth. Maria Torres circled, phone recording. Confess, now! Margaret's eyes darted wildly. Let go! She kneed Lena's thigh. Lena staggered but pinned her against crates. The embezzlement! You're doing! Margaret's laugh cracked bitterly. Mine? Your mother started it. Lena's fist tightened on the fabric, ripping seams. Liar! Diaries prove you framed her. Harlan advanced, cutting Margaret off. Ledgers show millions stolen. From charities. For what? Margaret's resistance crumbled, her shoulders slumping. Fine, I'll talk. Lena released her slightly but kept her grip. Spill. Margaret's voice dropped, venomous. Your father, Harlan, he siphoned funds to cover debts. Gambling. I helped hide it. Harlan's face drained, his fists balling until knuckles cracked. Gambling? He was broke? Margaret nodded, eyes gleaming. Empire on brink. Esther caught us forging books. Threatened exposure. Lena's chest heaved, fury boiling. So you framed her as a thief, Margaret interrupted. Had to. Planted cash in her room. Fired her. But she had copies, diaries, proofs. Maria leaned in. Where? Margaret's lips twisted. Burned them. But she sent one to a lawyer. Hidden. Lena's eyes widened. My inheritance box. In Compton. Harlan cut in. We searched it. Margaret laughed. Not deep enough. False bottom. The truth slammed like a hammer. Esther hadn't just been fired. She'd been silenced for uncovering an empire-crushing scam. Lena's mind flashed to her mother's final days. Broken, whispering warnings. You killed her spirit, Margaret shoved back. She was collateral. Harlan grabbed Margaret's arm, twisting. Collateral. My father's ruin. Your gain. Margaret winced. I took cuts. Kept it going after he died. For security. Maria's phone captured every word, the recording light steady. Names, accomplices. Margaret rattled them off. Lawyers, accountants, all tied to the Vanderbilt board. They laundered through fake charities. Lena's breath sharpened. Sophie's treatments, funded by stolen money? Harlan's roar echoed. No! But Margaret nodded. Irony, right? Your daughter lives off the fraud. The betrayal cut deep. Harlan's legacy tainted, Esther's death tied to it. Lena released Margaret, stepping back, her hands shaking. You destroyed families. Margaret straightened, defiant. Survival. Harlan punched the crate, wood splintering. You're done. He dialed cops, voice steel. Arrest warrant. But Margaret's final twist. The lawyer has the original ledger. Expose me. It exposes you. Lena interrupted. Where's the lawyer? Margaret smirked. Dead. But his son knows. The revelation caused panic, a loose end threatening Harlan's company. Lena's resolve hardened. We find him. End this. They bound Margaret's hands with duct tape from Maria's bag. Her struggles were futile. Lena's side ached from the knee, but adrenaline surged. For Mom. Harlan nodded, guilt etching his face. For all. Maria pocketed the phone. Story of the year. As sirens wailed, distance it, the group dragged Margaret out, her curses muffled. Lena clutched the briefcase, the cash. Evidence now. The full scam unfolded. Decades of theft, lives ruined, all under the Vanderbilt name. Esther's fight validated, her daughter avenging. Harlan's world was shattered further in the car. Dad, hero to me, fraud. Lena touched his shoulder. Face it, fix it. Maria drove, plotting next moves. Son's address. From contacts. Lena's teeth ground. We go tonight. The truth's weight crushed, but liberated. Sophie's innocence contrasted with the rot. Lena vowed silently, dismantle it all. You're a dead woman for digging up my dirt. Margaret Klein's snarl ripped through the dimly lit warehouse as she charged at Lena Washington, knife flashing in her grip. Lena's back hit the cold metal wall, her breath exploding out. But she dodged the slash, the blade scraping sparks from the concrete. Her fists clenched, nails gouging her palms until warm blood trickled. You're dirt. You murdered my mother's name, Lena countered, her voice a whip, lunging forward to grab Margaret's wrist. Margaret twisted free, elbow smashing Lena's jaw. Pain detonated, stars bursting in her vision. Harlan Vanderbilt surged from the shadows, tackling Margaret from behind. Drop it! His arm locked around her neck, but she stomped on his foot, bone crunching. Harlan grunted, grip loosening. Margaret spun, knife thrusting at his gut. Lena kicked her knee, the crack echoing, Margaret crumpling with a howl. Bitch! Margaret spat, slashing wildly. Lena leapt back, her side grazing a crate edge, fabric tearing. Blood seeped, but adrenaline surged. Her teeth ground hard against the agony. Maria Torres circled, phone aloft. Recording! Give up! Margaret interrupted with a lunge at her. Shut it off! Maria dodged, but Margaret's free hand clawed her arm, drawing red lines. Maria yelped, dropping the phone. It skittered across the floor. Lena dove for it, fingers scraping concrete. But Margaret's boot stomped her hand. Bones protested, Lena's scream muffled as she rolled away, clutching her fist. You won't expose me! Margaret roared, knife raised high. Harlan charged again, shoulder ramming Margaret's chest. They tumbled, knife clattering away. Margaret's nails raked his face, blood welling in furrows. Traitor! Your father trusted me! Harlan pinned her arms. Trusted? You bled him dry! Margaret head-butted his nose. Crunch, blood spraying. Harlan reeled, grip slipping. She scrambled for the knife, fingers inches away. Lena kicked it farther, her boot connecting with Margaret's ribs. Air whooshed out, Margaret gasping. The fight caused chaos. Margaret rose, grabbing a pipe from the ground. I'll end you all! She swung at Lena. Lena ducked, pipe whistling overhead, smashing a crate. Splinters flew, one slicing Lena's cheek. Blood dripped hot, her vision blurring. For the embezzlement! The frames! Lena demanded, circling. Margaret swung again. Yes, Esther threatened everything. Harlan wiped blood, interrupting. Threatened? She exposed your theft. Margaret whirled on him. Your father's theft. I just cleaned up. Lena's fury peaked. She tackled Margaret low, knees driving into her gut. They hit the ground hard, breath exploding. Margaret's pipe clattered away. You framed her, ruined us. Lena's fist pounded Margaret's shoulders. Margaret bucked, knee connecting with Lena's thigh. Bruise blooming instantly. Get off! Maria snatched the pipe, holding it high. Stop or I swing! Margaret froze momentarily, eyes wild. You don't understand. The board will kill for this. The threat hung, but Lena pressed down. Kill who? Margaret's lips sealed. Harlan knelt, twisting her arm. Talk, she yelped. The lawyer's son. He has the ledger. They'll silence you. Lena's breath sharpened. Where is he? Margaret laughed maniacally. Too late. Footsteps echoed. Two thugs burst in, guns drawn. Hands up! One barked, aiming at Harlan. Panic surged. Lena released Margaret, rolling behind a crate. Bullets pinged metal. Harlan dove beside her, blood from his nose smearing her arm. Run! But Margaret scrambled up, grabbing a gun from a thug. Finish them! Maria screamed, pipe swinging. Connected with a thug's knee, he dropped, howling. The other fired, a bullet grazing Maria's shoulder. She collapsed, blood pooling. Lena's heart hammered. She grabbed a loose board, swinging it like a bat. Connected with Margaret's hand, the gun flew. No! Margaret clawed at her eyes, nails raking Lena's forehead. Blood stung her vision. Harlan tackled the standing thug, fists flying, punch to the jaw, thug staggering. Stay down! The thug countered with a headbutt. Harlan reeling. Sirens wailed distant. Maria's earlier call. Margaret bolted for the door. Stop her! Lena chased, legs burning, tackling her at the threshold. They rolled out, gravel biting skin. Margaret's elbow jabbed Lena's throat. Gag, breath cut. Die! Lena flipped her, pressing Margaret's back. For Mom! Harlan emerged, dragging the thugs. Cops here! Margaret thrashed. You'll pay, the board knows. Lena's grip tightened. We'll expose them too. Police flooded in, cuffs clicking. Margaret's eyes burned with hate. This isn't the end. Lena stood, bruised, bloodied, but unbroken. Harlan helped Maria up, her wounds seeping. We need that ledger. The danger peaked, but survival chained resolve. Thugs cuffed, Margaret hauled away screaming. Lena's hand throbbed, but her eyes sharpened. The lawyer's son held the key. Find him or lose all. Adrenaline faded, pain crashing. Lena bandaged Maria's shoulder with a torn shirt. Hold on. Harlan's nose swelled, but he dialed. Ambulance. Margaret's words echoed. Board will kill. Lena's resolve steeled. We hunt the sun. Now. They piled into the car, Maria pale but defiant. Address from her phone. Lena drove, tires screeching. Danger clung, but truth beckoned closer. The son's house loomed, knock unanswered. Lena picked the lock, skills from Compton days. Inside, files are scattered. Search! But a shadow moved. Ambush. Gun cocked. Freeze! The son emerged, trembling. Who sent you? Lena raised her hands. Margaret, but we're exposing her. He lowered the gun. The ledger! Here! He thrust it forward. Revelations poured. Full embezzlement details, board names. But sirens again. Board's men. They fled, ledger clutched. Danger pursued, but evidence burned in Lena's grip. You think you can bury me with your lies, you coward? Lena Washington's bellow echoed in the lawyer's son's cluttered attic as she slammed him against the wall, her forearm crushing his throat. The man, Elias Grant, gasped, his hands clawing at her arm, nails scraping skin. Lena's muscles burned, her breath hot and ragged, but she pressed harder. The ledger! Hand it over! Elias's eyes bulged. I don't... Harlan Vanderbilt interrupted, kicking over a box of files, papers flying. Liar! Margaret named you! Elias choked. Please! Maria Torres, bandaged shoulder seeping blood, rifled drawers nearby. Found something. She yanked out a dusty envelope, tearing it open, yellowed pages spilled. Elias thrashed. No! That's... Lena kneed his gut, air exploding from him. He doubled over, coughing. Talk! Your father hid it for Vanderbilt? Elias wheezed. Yes. Protection. Harlan grabbed his collar, yanking him up. Protection from what? Elias's lips trembled. Embezzlement. Proof of the board's cuts. Lena released him slightly, her fist still balled. Show us. Elias stumbled to a safe, fingers fumbling the combination. Click. The door swung. Inside, the original ledger, thick with entries. Lena snatched it, flipping pages. Signatures, transfers, millions diverted. Here, Margaret's hand was in every theft. Harlan's eyes scanned. And my father's gambling debts paid with stolen funds. Elias interrupted. He blackmailed my dad to hide it. Maria snapped photos, flash popping. Got it all. But footsteps thundered outside, boards thugs bursting in, guns raised. Hands up, one barked, aiming at Lena. She dove behind furniture, ledger clutched tight. Bullets shredded wood, splinters biting her arms. Harlan tackled Elias to the floor. Stay down! Maria fired her taser, zapped a thug. He convulsed, dropping. The other charged her. Maria swung a lamp, cracking his skull. He staggered, gun clattering. Lena rolled, grabbing the fallen weapon. Back off! She fired a warning shot. Ceiling plaster rained. The thug recovered, lunging. Lena sidestepped, elbow smashing his nose. Blood sprayed, he howled. Harlan rose, punching the downed thug's jaw. Crunch, lights out. Elias cowered. They'll kill me. Lena yanked him up. Then help us. He nodded frantically. More proof. In the cloud. Password, Vanderbilt ruins. Maria pulled her laptop, fingers flying. Logging in. Files downloaded, emails, recordings, and board meetings admitting fraud. Jackpot. They continued after your dad died. Harlan's face twisted. For profit? Elias cut in. Yes, Margaret led. I have tapes. He thrust a USB. Lena plugged it in. Voices crackled. Board plotting. Margaret's commands. Frame anyone who sniffs. Sirens blared closer. Cops or more thugs. Lena's pulse thundered. Grab everything. They stuffed files into bags. Elias cooperating now. A thug stirred. Harlan kicked his head out cold. Maria zipped the laptop. Done! Lena dragged Elias. You're coming! Testify! He resisted. They'll hunt me! Lena's grip bruised his arm. Or die here! He relented, stumbling out. Outside, 2 more cars screeched up. Board reinforcements. Lena shoved Elias into their vehicle. Drive! Harlan gunned the engine, tires burning rubber. Bullets pinged the trunk. Maria fired back from the window. Hit a tire, car swerving. Pursuit chained, high-speed chase through LA streets, horns blaring. Lena loaded the gun. Faster! Harlan swerved alleys, losing 1 car in traffic. They ditched the vehicle in a garage, fleeing on foot. Elias panted. Safe house, my dad's old spot. Lena pushed him forward. Lead. They ducked into a rundown building, barricading the door. Inside, more boxes. Elias rifled one. Final evidence. Signed confessions. Lena tore it open. Documents proving the board's ongoing theft. Lives ruined for greed. Harlan paced, blood from scratches drying. This ends the empire. Lena's chest heaved. And avenges mom. Maria uploaded backups to the secure cloud. Safe now. But knocks pounded the door. Thugs found them. Open up! Lena braced, gun ready. Harlan smashed a window. Escape route. Jump! They leapt to the fire escape. Elias hesitating. Lena pulled him. Move! Down the ladder, feet hitting pavement. Sirens are real now. Cops arriving. Thugs fired from above. Bullets ricocheting. Lena returned fire, hitting one shoulder. He dropped screaming. They ran blocks, ducking into the subway. Train doors closed just in time. Pursuit cut. Panting in the car, Lena scanned the ledger. Full names, arrest them all. Harlan nodded. Press conference tomorrow, Elias whispered. I'll back you. Maria bandaged fresh cuts. We survived. Evidence intact. The hunt forged unbreakable proof. Ledgers, tapes, confessions. Lena's hands shook, but resolve burned. Sophie's face flashed. For her future. Harlan's guilt turned fierce protection. We exposed them. Safe at a motel, they pored over files. Details emerged. Stolen funds built mansions. Silenced victims. Esther's name cleared in notes. Lena's tears fell silent, wiped away quickly. She fought alone. Harlan hugged her shoulder. Not anymore. Elias added, my dad regretted it. Left this for redemption. More USBs, videos of board meetings, Margaret's betrayals. Lena played one. Eliminate threats. Chills ran. They targeted us. Cops called, Harlan's tip. Raid starting. Lena's jaw set. We handed over. But one last clue. Hidden account numbers. Maria traced. Billions recovered. The evidence mountain loomed, ready to bury the guilty. Lena's bruises throbbed, but victory neared. Tomorrow's reveal would shatter empires. As dawn broke, Lena clutched the bag. The final proof pulsed like a heartbeat, danger trailing, but justice leading. You're all finished, you corrupt scum! Lena Washington's thunderous accusation boomed across the crowded press conference stage, her fingers stabbing at the projected screen where damning ledger pages glowed. The room erupted, reporters surging, flashes blinding, board members in the front row bolting upright. Margaret Klein, cuffed and flanked by cops, snarled from the side. Shut your mouth! But Lena slammed the podium, cutting her off. No! You framed my mother! Stole millions! Harlan Vanderbilt stepped forward, shoving a board exec back into his seat. Sit! Face it! The reveal ignited. Lena hit play on the recording. Margaret's voice crackled through the speakers. Frame Esther. Hide the theft. Gasps ripped the air. A board member lunged for the mic. Lena kicked his shin. He crumpled, howling. Liar exposed! Reporters shouted questions, chaos chaining. Maria Torres, arm in a sling, thrust the USB forward. Proof here. Emails, transfers. Harlan grabbed a fleeing exec's collar. Stay. Your signature's on forgeries. Margaret broke free momentarily, charging the stage. I'll kill you. Her fists flew. Lena sidestepped, elbow smashing her nose. Blood sprayed, Margaret staggering. Cops tackled her down, cuffs clicking tighter. You ruined us, Margaret spat. Lena towered over her. Ruined. You destroyed families. The screen flipped to videos, board meetings, confessions spilling. Divert funds, silence threats. The room roared, phones recording frenzy. Harlan's voice boomed. My father started it, gambling debts. You continued for greed. A board chair interrupted, rising. Lies! Sue you! But Elias Grant, the lawyer's son, stepped up. Truth. My dad hid it. Here's his notes. He thrust documents. Pages flew as the chair snatched at them. Lena punched his gut. Hands off. He doubled over, wheezing. Reporters swarmed, questions firing like bullets. The lat KO peaked. Lena revealed the final tape, board plotting murders. Eliminate Esther's daughter. Murmurs exploded into outrage. Harlan pinned the chair. You targeted Lena. The man thrashed. No proof. Maria hit the project. Emails glowed. Your order. He slumped, defeated. Cops stormed the row, cuffs snapping on wrists. You're under arrest. Margaret's final lunge. She headbutted a cop, grabbing for Lena. Die, Lena dodged, knee driving into her stomach. Air burst out, Margaret folding. For Mom! Lena's fist connected with her cheek. Crack, jaw shifting. Harlan pulled her back. Enough. Justice now. The room spun. Arrests chaining. Execs dragged out, screaming denials. Lena seized the mic. Vanderbilt empire tainted. Millions stolen from charities. Esther Washington is innocent. Cheers mixed with booze. Harlan added, I dissolve the board. Funds returned. Elias nodded. I testify. Full exposure. Maria snapped photos, her grin fierce despite pain. Flashbacks hit Lena. Esther's weary eyes, her diary's pleas. They crush us. Not anymore. Lena's bruises throbbed, but triumph surged. Reporters pressed. Evidence solid? She thrust the ledger. See for yourselves. Copies distributed, truth spreading like fire. Margaret's glare burned from the floor. You'll regret. A cop gagged her. Lena knelt close. Regret? You're done. Harlan hugged Sophie, brought on stage. For her future, clean. The girl's smile cut through chaos. The Vache Tran chain all out. Stocks plummeted on screens and investors fled. Lena's voice steadied. Justice for the overlooked. Applause thundered. Board remnants confessed under pressure, names tumbling. As cops cleared the stage, Lena clutched the necklace. Esther's spirit vindicated. Harlan whispered, "We did it." But shadows lingered. Loose thugs. Lena's grip tightened on the gun in her pocket. Safety fragile. The conference ended in uproar. Truths unshackled. Lena stood tall, wounds fresh but soul healed. More battles? Bring them. Reporters hounded outside. Next steps? Lena cut through. Rebuild. For Compton kids, Harlan announced. New foundation. Esther's name. Donations poured in instantly. Elias added affidavits, sealing cases. Maria's story went viral, headlines screaming. Lena's phone buzzed. Threats? No, support. Back home, Sophie drew justice scenes. Lena hugged her. Safe now. But vigilance burned. The Lat Ko reshaped worlds, empires crumbling. You'll rot in hell for what you did to my family. Lena Washington's venomous shout echoed through the courtroom as she lunged toward Margaret Klein, her fingers clawing the air inches from the defendant's face. Margaret recoiled in her chair, chains rattling, her eyes wide with terror. You deserve worse, Margaret spat back, but the judge's gavel slammed down, cutting her off. Order! Lena's chest heaved, her fists clenching until nails broke skin, blood trickling warm. Harlan Vanderbilt pulled her back, his grip bruising her arm. Enough! Let the law crush her. Margaret stood defiant, but the prosecutor advanced, thrusting the ledger forward. Exhibit A, your signatures on thefts. Margaret interrupted. Forged! But Elias Grant rose from the witness stand. Lies! I saw you sign. His finger jabbed accusingly. Margaret's face twisted. She charged the barrier. Bailiff tackled her, knee in her back. She howled, thrashing. Traitor! Elias's voice sliced. You threatened my father. The jury gasped, heads whipping. The verdict was swift. Guilty on all counts. Embezzlement, fraud, conspiracy. Margaret's scream pierced as cuffs tightened. No! Lena locked eyes with her. For Esther! Margaret bucked, elbowing the bailiff. Bloodied lip, he pinned her harder. Take her! The judge barked. Guards dragged her out, her kicks scraping the floor, curses echoing. Board members followed, one by one sentenced. The chair begged. Mercy! Harlan interrupted from the gallery. Mercy! You stole from kids! The man slumped, chains clicking. Fines levied, millions recovered, assets seized. Lena's breath sharpened, justice tasting sweet but sharp. Pay back every cent. The prosecutor nodded. They will. Elias testified further, documents flying. Offshore accounts drained. A board exec lunged for him. Guards intercepted, fist to gut. He folded, gasping. Guilty, the jury foreman declared. Harlan's shoulders straightened, guilt lifting fractionally. Sophie watched from her seat, her small hand in Lena's, squeezing tight. Bad people gone? Lena knelt. Yes, baby. Nods thrashed. Margaret appealed, but evidence buried it. Tapes replayed in court, her voice damning. Frame her, jury recoiled. Appeal denied, sentence doubled. Lena's jaw clenched, satisfaction surging. Rot forever. Funds returned, chained restitution. Charities flooded with cash. Compton Center rebuilt overnight. Lena oversaw, her commands sharp. Triple programs. Volunteers nodded, action immediate. Harlan faced his own probe, cleared, but shamed. I enabled it. Lena cut him. Fix it now. He donated his personal fortune, tears unshed. For you. Courtroom emptied, but echoes lingered. Margaret's final glare as doors shut. Lena stood tall, wounds healing. Justice served, but scars remained. Trials wrapped, loose ends tied. Thugs sentenced, board dissolved. Lena visited Esther's grave, and the necklace was placed. Vindicated. Wind carried her whisper. Sophie hugged her. Home now? Lena nodded. Yes, but resolve burned. Watch for shadows. Peace is fragile but earned. The gavel's final slam sealed fates, guilty hauled away. Lena's fire dimmed slightly, purpose shifting to rebuild. You think money erases your family's sins, you bastard? Lena Washington's furious bark cut through the boardroom as she slammed her palm on the polished table. Facing Harlan Vanderbilt, her eyes blazing like coals. Harlan's chair scraped back, his fists pounding the surface in response. Sins! I'm fixing them! Lena advanced, cutting him off, her finger jabbing his chest. Fix? Your father stole lives! Harlan grabbed her wrist. She yanked free, nails raking his hand, blood beading. I know! That's why this! He thrust blueprints forward. Plans for the Esther Washington Foundation, a massive structure rising in Compton. Lena snatched them, papers crinkling. A building? Hollow! Harlan interrupted, voice booming. Not hollow. Millions poured in. Youth programs, health clinics, scholarships. Lena's breath sharpened, her teeth grinding hard. For show? Harlan's face reddened. For redemption. He slammed a check. 10 million. Start now. Lena's chest heaved, doubt warring with hope. She tore the check, halves fluttering. Not enough. Change your company. Diversity hires. No more blind eyes. Harlan nodded fiercely. Done. Board reformed. Half from communities like yours. Lena cut in. Prove it. Hire my center's grads. He dialed HR on speaker. Implement now. The voice stuttered. Sir? Harlan barked. No excuses. The action surged. Harlan sold assets. Yacht, jets, funds flooding the foundation. Lena oversaw construction, her commands sharp to workers. Faster! Kids wait! Hammers pounded, her vision shaping. Classrooms buzzing, clinics healing. Sophie joined, with small hands planting trees. For you, Harlan whispered to her. Lena interrupted. For all overlooked. Harlan faced the press next, cameras flashing. Vanderbilt reforms, ethical audits, profit shares to victims. A reporter jabbed. PR stunt? Harlan cut him. Real, billions redirected. Lena stood beside, adding, Monitor it. I will. Applause thundered, but skeptics booed. Harlan shoved a heckler back. See the change. Compton transformed. Center expanded, Lena directing. New wing, tech labs. Kids swarmed, eyes wide. Her sons led classes, Jamal coding, and Marcus mentoring. Mom's fighting paid off, Jamal said. Lena hugged him tight, her grip iron. Never stop. Harlan visited the gravesite with Lena, kneeling at Esther's stone. Forgive us. Lena's voice sliced. Earn it daily. He nodded, placing flowers, action over words. Back he launched a policy, company-wide training against bias. No more silence. Employees resisted, one argued. Too much. Harlan fired him instantly. Out. Funds chained impact. Scholarships lifted families. Clinics saved lives like Sophie's. Lena treated a sick boy, her hand steady. Free care, thanks to this. Mother wept, hugging her. Hero. Lena's throat tightened. Team effort. Harlan reformed personally, moved to a modest home, donated the mansion to a foundation. Live simply. Lena cut in at dinner. About time. Sophie giggled, bonding with them. Harlan taught her ethics. Never overlook. Global reach. Harlan partnered abroad. Anti-corruption funds. Lena traveled, speaking sharply. Fight systems. Crowds cheered, her fire inspiring. Back home, the center's gala. Harlan cut the ribbon. Esther's legacy. Lena interrupted the speech. Our legacy, build on it. Donations poured, hope surging. Harlan's guilt eased through deeds, and Lena's trust grew. You changed, she admitted. He gripped her hand. Because of you. The scale is massive. Thousands helped, cycles broken. Lena's resolve burned eternal, actions echoing. One resistance. The old board ally sued. Harlan crushed in court. Over! Lena's testimony sealed it. Communities thrived. Compton streets were safer. Kids dreaming big. Lena mentored, her scars badges. Harlan's final act, named Lena co-CEO. Lead with me. She accepted, fist bumping. Partners. Hope radiated from ashes rose strength. Lena's family is whole. Harlan's redeemed. You call this family, you fraud? Lena Washington's savage growl sliced the air as she shoved Harlan Vanderbilt against the new foundation's wall, her fingers digging into his shirt, eyes locked in fury. Harlan's back thudded hard, but he pushed back, his hands gripping her arms tight. Fraud! I built this for us! Lena twisted free, her elbow jabbing his ribs. Breath exploded from him. Us? After your bloodline's poison? Harlan interrupted, voice thundering. Poison, I'm cleansing. The clash ignited resolution. Harlan released her, stepping back, chest heaving. Look around. Lena spun, taking in the Esther Washington Center. Gleaming halls, kids laughing in classrooms, clinics buzzing with life. Sophie ran up, hugging Lena's legs. It's home! Lena knelt, scooping her up, her grip fierce but tender. Yes, baby. Harlan joined, his arm around them both. We made it. Months blurred into harmony. Lena led the center, her commands sharp to staff. Expand outreach, more scholarships. Applications flooded, kids from Compton rising. Her sons thrived. Jamal interning at Harlan's Reform Company, Marcus coaching sports. Proud of you, Lena whispered, hugging them tight, her chest swelling. Harlan transformed daily. Board meetings now diverse, policies slashing inequality. No more blind hires! He fired resistors. Their protests were cut short. Out! Profits funneled to communities. Millions building homes, funding schools. Lena interrupted one session. Double the grants, Harlan nodded. Done. Their partnership sparked, arguments fueling progress. Sophie bloomed, heart strong, drawing families united. We're together, she said, handing Lena a picture. Harlan, Lena, boys, her in the center. Lena's throat tightened, tears stinging, but she held. Forever. Harlan watched, guilt faded, replaced by purpose. He mentored youth, his stories raw. I ignored pain, don't you? Compton shifted. Streets safer, hopes ignited. Lena spoke at galas, voice slicing doubt. Rise despite chains! Crowds cheered, donations surging. Harlan backed her, check in hand. For Esther. Lena accepted, their hands clasping. Electric, unbreakable. Flashbacks haunted but healed. Esther's weary face, now honored in plaques. Lena visited the grave often. Sophie tagging. Grandma's hero. Flowers placed, whispers carried. We won. Back home, new blended house. Dinners lively. Boys teased Harlan. Rich guy cooks? He laughed, flipping burgers. Learn humility. Conflicts arose. An old Vanderbilt ally threatened suit. Harlan crushed it in court, Lena testifying fiercely. Exposed your rot. The judge ruled in favor, and assets were seized. Justice! Lena punched air, Harlan hugging her, spontaneous spark flying. Intimacy grew. Late nights planning, hands brushing. Harlan confessed. Love you. Lena interrupted, kissing him hard. Prove it. He did daily acts. Surprises for boys, support unwavering. Sophie beamed. Daddy and Lena. Global impact. Foundation branched, aiding worldwide. Lena travels, empowering women. Fight back! Harlan joined, his wealth weaponized for good. Returns triumphant. Family waiting. Article hit. Maria's expose praising rebuild. From ashes, hope. Lena read aloud, voice steady. We did this. Lessons crystallized. Don't judge by skin or station. Heroes rise from shadows. Harlan taught Sophie. See people, not labels, Lena added. Act bold, change worlds. Boys echoed, lives transformed. One crisis, center threat from holdout thug. Harlan confronted, fist ready. Back off! Thug swung. Harlan dodged, counterpunching, dropping him. Cops hauled away. Lena bandaged his knuckles. My hero, he grinned. Hours. Years passed. Sophie graduated, centered her launch pad. Thanks to you. Lena hugged her, pride bursting. Harlan proposed on stage at the gala, ring flashing. Marry me. Lena interrupted. Yes, cheers thundered, family complete. Blended life pulsed, holidays chaotic, love fierce. Boys called Harlan dad, Sophie sis to them. Lena led the empire ethically, Harlan her rock. Final scene. Hilltop sunset, Family gathered. Lena's hand in Harlan's, kids playing. We overcame. He kissed her. Together, Sophie added. Forever. Article closed. Overlook no one. Courage rewrites rules. Lena whispered. Lesson learned. The journey ended. Hope eternal. Families mended. Legacies bright. Reunions annual. Center packed. Stories shared. From maid to leader. Lena smiled. From pain to power. Harlan's book, Redemption Road. Lena co-authored Truth's Raw. Sales soared. Fun cycling back. Sophie's wedding. Lena walked her down the aisle, tears flowing. Proud, Harlan beamed. Our girl. Grandkids came, centered their playground. Lena taught. Fight fair. Love hard. Aging gracefully. Harlan retired. Lena slowed but was fierce. Keep pushing. Boys took the reins, innovation flowing. Last breath, Lena held Harlan's hand. No regrets, he whispered. Love eternal. She passed peacefully AC Immo Legacyrdal. Monuments stood, Esther and Lena, symbols unbroken. Hope's flame burned bright, lessons echoing through generations. In the end, this story reminds us that true heroes often emerge from the shadows, people overlooked by society who act with unyielding courage and compassion, proving that one bold choice can shatter barriers of class, race, and indifference, and spark lasting change for the better. If this tale moved you or reminded you of your own experiences with injustice and redemption, share your thoughts or stories in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and build a community of inspiration. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more powerful stories and see you next time.